In this tutorial, we'll learn about SQLite, a lightweight and powerful database management system. First, create a folder named CS-Demo. Open a terminal or command prompt, navigate to that folder, and create a new SQLite database named SocialDB by running the following command: SQLite 3 SocialDB. If the database file doesn't already exist, SQLite will create it automatically and open the SQLite command line interface, where you can begin creating tables and working with your database. Next, create a file named Demo SQL. This file will contain all the SQL statements that will execute in our SQLite database. Keeping your SQL commands in a separate script file makes them easier to organize, edit, and reuse. Instead of typing each command manually in the SQLite terminal, you can simply run the script whenever you need to recreate your database or populate it with sample data. We'll begin by creating a users table. This table will store basic information about each user, including a unique ID, a username, and an email address. Once the table has been created, we'll insert a few sample records so that we have some data to work with during the rest of the tutorial. Finally, we'll execute a select query to retrieve all the records from the users table. This will allow us to verify that the table was created successfully and that the sample data was inserted. Now, open your terminal and access the SQLite database by running the following command: SQLite 3 SocialDB. This command opens the SocialDB database in the SQLite command line interface. Once you're inside the SQLite prompt, execute the SQL script by running .read demo SQL. The read command tells SQLite to read and execute every SQL statement contained in the demo SQL file. After running the script, verify that the table was created successfully. Run the following command to list all the tables in the database. Tables. You should see the users table in the output. Next, view the table schema by running schema users. This command displays the SQL statement used to create the users table, including its columns and constraints. Finally, retrieve all the records from the users table by running select from users. This query displays every row and column in the users table, allowing you to verify that the sample data was inserted successfully. Next, create another file named demo2SQL. This file will contain additional SQL commands that allow us to manage and modify the information stored in our SQLite database. In the previous steps, we created our database, built the users table, and added sample records. Now, we'll create a second script file to practice making changes to the data and managing the database structure. Keeping these commands in a separate file helps us organize our SQL code and makes it easier to test different database operations. Instead of entering each command manually, we can run the entire script whenever we need to apply these changes to our SQLite database. This step will help us understand how databases handle changes over time and how we can maintain, clean, and manage the information stored inside our tables. Now, run the demo2SQL script inside the SQLite command line interface using the following command: read demo2SQL. This command reads and executes all the SQL statements inside the demo2SQL file. SQLite will process each command in the script and apply the changes to the database. After running read demo2SQL, use tables, schema, and select from users to verify that the changes were applied and the table data has been removed. Finally, run quit to exit the SQLite command line interface. You have now completed the SQLite tutorial. In this tutorial, we learned how to create a SQLite database, create and manage tables, insert and retrieve data, and perform basic database operations using SQL commands.